Melbourne Zoo is home to a whole host of highly venomous and dangerous reptiles, including one of the longest species of snake. You might be wondering, how do you feed a 6-metre python? Let's meet one of our expert reptile keepers, Jayden.
G'day guys, my name's Jayden. I'm one of the reptile keepers here at Melbourne. At the moment we're back of house in our snake room. Today we get to pretty excitingly watch our reticulated pythons getting a feed. One of the first times we recorded it. They are actually the largest python species in the world. While our reticulated python are not venomous, they would probably be one of our most dangerous animals. We are working in close proximity to them. They are incredibly large, so it's going to be a pretty exciting video that we're going to watch, and we'll break it down as we watch it.
Fair warning again, snakes do eat animals whole, and they don't really chew. But if you like seeing nature in all its gory glory, please enjoy.
So here we got one of our reticulated pythons. This is our male. For a bit of reference, he is about 6 metres long at the moment. Could get potentially up to 8 metres. Be able to see, got lots of patterns on them. That's where they get their name, the reticulated python, from. At the moment, we're getting ready to feed with our snake. Be able to see the tongue flicking in and out. That's how they find their food. They'll already be able to smell the food even though it's outside of the enclosure. They're starting to move around and investigate. So we do have a male and female in this enclosure. So here we got one of our keepers opening up the door. Yeah, see, he's got a little shield that we use. That just makes sure we stay nice and safe while we are feeding them. These guys cruising over. Now that the door's open, they know that's where their food comes in, so they'll head over. Be able to see, we do have a wallaby that we're feeding. All snakes, they've all evolved to eat their prey items whole. With our reticulated pythons, since they are so large, they do need large food items. Usually we give them things like wallabies, we'll give them small deer, small goat, or they've been all ethically sourced. Hitted just strike, starting to wrap up. On the end there, be able to see we've got these big long tongs that allows us to safely feed from a distance. Since these snakes are so big, don't want to get too close. And see, with our snake struck right onto their head, their natural instinct is always to bite around the head area. Be able to see them wrapping right up. So they'll squeeze it nice and tight. Once they're pretty sure it's deceased, then they'll start to eat it. They'll always start at the head and chew their way down. So be able to see, got big strong hold on the nose of our wallaby there. So he's still giving a bit of a squeeze. Essentially, his instinct's just saying squeeze it for a little while, make sure it's dead. Doesn't want to try to eat anything that's still alive. With all your snakes, able to eat things much larger than the size of their head. Can be anywhere up to about 3 times the size. With reticulated pythons, since they are so large, they can almost eat things weighing almost as much as they do. So here you'll be able to see, starting to chew on. With all of your snakes, they've got recurved teeth. Obviously they've got no hands or anything like that to eat their food. So the way that they eat them, they'll bite on and they'll essentially work their jaw up onto the prey item. Every time they move up, their teeth will hook on and allow them to pull themselves up. So it can take quite a while for a snake to eat. Our 2 individuals, they do usually eat pretty fast. Usually takes probably about 20 minutes. There have been occasions in the past where it has taken them quite a while. Sometimes we can get them really big food items where it's been sort of an hour, 2 hours in total. But here I'll be able to see himself sort of slowly working his way up onto the wallaby. Since they are eating such large food items, and you'll be able to see here in the video, his jaw is stretching right out as he's working his way over it. Sometimes, especially adapted so they can still breathe during this process. Snakes, they've got a special breathing tube in their mouth. Don't know if we'll see it in this video here, but they're actually able to stick it out onto the side of the mouth. So then while they've got their mouth full of that food, they are still able to take in breaths of air. Since snakes don't have any arms, it can be sometimes tricky for them to get over large items like the shoulders of an animal. So depending where they're sitting, sometimes they'll sit against a rock, a hard object. They can push against that with their head to help force the food into their mouth. Sometimes if it's not available, like you're able to see here, they'll actually use their body as well. They'll strategically place it, so then they can use the mass of their body, push against it, help pushes the food into their mouth. You're able to see he's repositioning his body here, trying to find the best position so he can, with your wallabies, very large back legs, it tends to be where sort of the widest part of their body is. So it can be the hardest part for them to get over, so sometimes it does need a little bit of a push with their body to be able to get it all the way down. Because it is a really big food item, sometimes it can be quite energy taxing. So sometimes they'll just sit still for a little bit, recover some of their strength, get a bit of a boost of energy and then keep going with eating the food. So with all snakes, reticulated pythons included, once they get to the shoulders of the animal, they're pretty committed to eating it. It takes them quite a bit of effort and energy to then spit it out. So once they've sort of got on enough of the food and swallowed enough, we can then use that time to get sort of lots of measurements, make sure they're nice and healthy. So we can measure them, we can get them on scales, weigh them, monitor them, check them over, make sure they're staying nice and healthy. So with his jaw there, be able to see there's lots of white patches in between his jaw. Since they can stretch their jaw right out, this allows them to sort of essentially eat things 3 times bigger than the size of their head. So all snakes, they've got their main scales, which is what you predominantly see, but then they've got their membranes in beneath. So when they are really stretched out, they will stretch out, allows themselves to pull their jaw over any large food items. And then once they've sort of swallowed it, usually the area around their stomach, they'll be stretched out as well, since there is such a large body of mass in there. So getting near the end here, we'll probably slurp up the rest of this pretty quickly. So getting towards the last portion here, you can see there's not much left. Be able to see his jaw is looking a little bit weird at the moment. With your snakes, since they are swallowing large food items, they're spreading it right out. We'll hopefully see in a minute, but usually they'll do a big yawn. It will essentially put their jaw back into the right position, get it all nice and centered again. Be able to see with our snakes, they'll occasionally head into the water after eating your feed. One, this can just be due to hydration. They've just had a massive meal. Usually they want a bit of a drink after that, make sure they get all their moisture that they need. Sometimes I just want to go for a bit of a swim, wash off any weird scents on them as well from their prey items. There to see him dunk his head under. There it is, that big yawn you can see. That will be him getting that jaw back where it needs to be, realigning all the muscles, all the bones. They are really good at swimming, found over in Southeast Asia. So there is lots of water bodies, lots of little rivers. They are well adapted to moving through the water, very streamlined. So with that tongue flicking in out, you'll be able to see, got a bit of a fork with it. All of your snakes got a very special organ in their mouth. It's called the Jacobson's organ. So essentially the way that works, with the 2 forks, they'll stick that in and out. Each side of the fork will pick up bits of scent in the air. They will pull that back into the organ. They will then get processed and they'll be able to tell which side of the tongue has more scent on. They'll be able to flick their tongue side to side, they'll move their head and essentially able to pinpoint exactly where something is. So now we've got 2 happy snakes, bellies full. Over winter period, they're probably going to need to be fed less, so it could even be 2 months before they need another feed. We'll just keep an eye on them over this time, make sure they're not getting too hungry. If they start showing signs that they are, give them another feed. But really exciting video, and definitely recommend you come see them here at Melbourne Zoo.